Take it away.
Hello and welcome to Glitch Point.
Good God.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to Glitch Point. I just felt like I'd do it different because what the hell, right?
Yeah.
Can't do that in the future, so might as well do it now. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I mean, there's interesting stuff, but it's all around the board. I mean, there's a lot of things that are happening with businesses. The one that I like is the Apple Valve data thing.
The Apple
Did you hear?
Valve data thing? I did not hear about
Yeah, so
this.
basically the Fortnite lawsuit now has trickled to Valve, and they have to give up data on user data on 436 games.
Ooh,
It's
why?
just
They have to
uh,
give up, they have to give away to someone. Like, what do you mean they give
to
up?
to Apple in order to be able to. Yeah, okay, well, let me read it.
What is Steam and Apple? They
It's
coexist in
just part of
any
it's
ecosystem?
they do coexist, but now they need to reveal uh, the data, the user data for 436 games. So I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously finding these stories pretty fast, but um, it just makes me wonder if Apple is just going to be hated by every gamer.
Oh, so Valve's getting subpoenaed
Yes, Valve is getting
over
some.
these games. I wonder, huh? That's
It's just
odd. I wonder why, because like Epic, that makes sense because Fortnite was on the Play Store or the App Store. I'm just wondering, like, what does Valve have? Um.
well, they're allowed because they're on their
Oh,
PC
yeah,
distribution
duh.
platform, and so yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, it's a very similar thing. I know it's not where Epic I think ran into a lot of problems was the phone, right? Oh, well, no, I guess it was just the PC. It's just another store. So I think they're going after all stores or delivery systems that are. So now they want the data, the sales data, to make sure. I think so that they get their cut or whatever, because
Well, yeah. I mean, on the App Store that makes sense, but I didn't think that Apple could take a cut of Steam
yeah. But if they're
on
taking
their
a cut of
platform.
Epic, what's the difference?
Well, the difference is Epic is using Apple's ecosystem and store to sell things, and Steam is using effectively a website. That would be like if you use Amazon on a Mac, Apple takes a cut. That's
Well,
just
but if it's
not
if it's
gonna
an
work.
app on their store, then they're using Apple Store. I mean, this is
Well,
the
yeah, see,
exact
that's the thing
same.
is Steam doesn't like Steam is not in the same boat of Valve. Where well, I don't know if you can buy because I know there's a Steam app. I don't know if you can buy
I'm sure you
games
can.
through
I
the
mean, otherwise,
Steam app.
it wouldn't make any sense if it wasn't an app where you could use it at the same. I'm sure it's an app that you can
Well,
use it the same as the
no,
website.
it's the same thing of with Valve. I mean, again, if I use the Amazon app on an iPhone, they don't get a cut of it if I buy something through. Now, if Amazon was a $5 app, they would get a cut. And then that's why. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm
but
wondering because like
it's an
with
internal marketplace within a marketplace. So isn't that the whole point? Like to try to stop these internal marketplaces because now they don't have any say on the security of the applications that are going through that app that now is on their app store, and also just they don't get a revenue cut. I mean, I don't know. I've been following this close enough, but that's how
well,
I.
I mean, yeah, I should follow closer. So maybe everything I'm about to say is just bullshit. But what
That's
I've
okay.
understood from everything is it's this very same argument of when Apple started selling magazines, which is when you go through the App Store and your Apple account to buy V-Bucks or subscribe to the Battle Pass of Fortnite, you're effectively going through Apple's payment system, and Apple requires that the user does not get their data sent over to whoever is purchasing. And that's what magazines hated was they wanted the
Okay.
email of the user so that they could send them newsletter. And Apple said, no, you don't get to see that. They can have your subscription, but you don't get to see their shit because they don't want that data out there. So with V-Bucks, that makes sense. With Steam, yeah, it's like Amazon. I download the app and then I buy things through Amazon, and Apple doesn't really care about that end because then they'd be going after Amazon. I'm wondering. The thing is, it's also 436 Steam games. There's obviously a shitload more. I'm just wondering what about these Steam games? Um, and I'm just wondering if there's any sort of
I think that they could have. I think this is
repercussions.
just where they settled at. Was a lower amount of games because obviously they could. But these are probably specific 436 games. I would have imagined.
Hmm.
Um, because it's probably the big hitters, and who cares about all the rest of the games? I think it's just to get the data on how many sales they're losing out on by. I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just to understand the marketplace, so it's an open marketplace, so they understand how many
Oh.
sales are happening over Valve rather than over their own
Yeah,
Apple
so
Store.
according to this article, it says part of the lawsuit, Apple has subpoenaed Valve for information about its services and sales figures in order to dispel allegations Epic has got against them. So I think what they're saying is your direct competitor is Valve. We're going to use their data to disprove what you're trying to tell us. I don't know. I don't know what Epic has told them about their sales figures. I'm
But
imagining they're undercutting them and being like, "Oh no, we're not selling that much."
But
And
isn't this specifically about Fortnite anyways? Like it all started because of Fortnite's internal marketplace, not necessarily Epic's game store.
yeah, no, this is
So,
not about the Epic Game Store. This is purely about
but yeah,
selling
but
V-Bucks in the
Valve,
game.
well, no, I know, but Valve, if they're going to subpoena Valve's data, then that is acting as if the game store is what they care about, which it is the internal game. And it's not like Valve has a game. It's not like you go into Half-Life and I just, there's a disconnect here.
Well, you go into Counter-Strike and you buy things in Counter-Strike or Dota. You buy things inside of that game.
Okay, yeah, I guess you're right.
So, like, and the
There
fact that,
are,
again, it's a very specific allocation of games, and there's a lot of other games on the Steam store that are not Valve making money off of. So I'm sure it's, yeah, it seems like they just want the data so that they can disprove something that Epic is bringing up in court, which is odd, but I don't know how legal works.
yeah, it does get a little confusing, but it definitely does make Apple look bad. I mean,
Oh
from
yeah,
somebody
no, the
who's,
gamers community hates Apple, which I mean, what's new? Like, you know.
well, I don't know if that was always true. I don't, before this, I don't think that there was animosity towards Apple.
I mean, when's the
I
last time anybody gamed on a Mac?
Well, I mean, that's just because it wasn't available, and also like Steam for Apple was not very well represented. But I think now, and even in, I mean, Linux is the one that's far behind. But even on Linux, there's a decent amount of ports, to the point where I don't think that your operating system choice matters too much in today's world, especially not Apple. It doesn't feel like it matters if you can definitely game on an Apple device.
Yeah, and that's just not nearly as well or easily.
Yeah,
Especially now that they're going to ARM. Like, they're
that is
gaming
different.
has
Yes.
never, well, not necessarily. No, yeah, gaming has never been at the forefront of Apple's mind. There's been times where they've cared a little bit about it and they made like Apple Arcade, but their
But it's
iPhone and the iOS store is where kind of gaming for them is, and that's kind of where it stays.
But it's also like the thing with Microsoft Game Pass and just that whole debacle that they're forcing them to now use a web OS or a web app basically in order to get that to work.
Yeah.
Which is fine, if they can get it to work on the web, then it's perfect. Nobody can block it. There's nothing that they can really do. But it just, why do you want to take that position? Why do you want to take a position against people playing on your platform? It just
It,
doesn't make sense.
it just comes down to what they've written as their terms of service, and it's like, yeah, you could try to, league out of a. I mean, it's like if you let one person do it, then they have to either write a rule to make sure that this doesn't get abused by any other person, or you just tell them to do it a different way so it doesn't get abused.
But you're not just letting one. Yeah, I see what you're saying, but it is these large, international companies that have well proven themselves. I don't think allowing there's not going to,
I mean,
plus there's not going to be
at the end
that
of the
many
day,
streaming
Microsoft does the
services.
same thing Apple's doing, but no one's trying to put PlayStation Plus on the Microsoft Store. Like, Microsoft has to verify everything that goes onto their store, and they have strict rules against it that people get taken down from and stuff like that. Like, they have their own terms of service, but no one's trying to put a game or an app on the Microsoft Store that plays a ton of games that would require this problem. Apple's the only person sitting there going like, well, now you're trying to do this thing that no one else is doing.
But there's also, I mean, it's a different frame too. The way that Apple frames it is that everything needs to come from the place, or not the Play Store, the Apple Store. Very similar to Android with the Play Store.
Yeah.
It's where I feel like most people that use Windows just install things off the internet. I mean, nobody really nobody really uses the Microsoft Store to
No.
buy stuff. I mean, I know there's a lot of games and available applications through that, but it's not pushed. Just the same way that Edge browsers is, yeah, sure, that's their browser, but it's not pushed, and not in the same way as Safari is pushed.
Yeah.
And like I feel like the way that Apple does it is they make it seem like there are no other choices. So when they do stuff like this, it has a greater impact because people are like, well, this is you provided us with this store, but now you're blocking us from the things we want.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I think it's a little silly. Yes, I understand that the biggest argument here is security,
Yeah.
because by doing this, they're allowing for a secure ecosystem that, although there was just, what was that? There was just a virus or a worm that just happened on the M1 chips recently.
Nice.
I have to look this up.
I mean, go even talking about like viruses on like the Mac and stuff. I mean, there's you can write there's plenty of opportunity to write viruses on a Mac. It's just no one does it because more people have Windows machines, and
What?
more people that have Windows machines are stupid with them.
Yeah, it's insane. I recently just saw the pie chart for how many the operating pie chart, and it's like Windows OS just dominates the marketplace. It's ridiculous.
So I mean a while ago, and I bet people still make this argument of they're like, oh yeah, I use a Mac because it doesn't have the same types, like it doesn't get viruses. It's not that it doesn't get them. It's no one sitting there making a virus for a Mac because they look at that pie chart and go, do I want to try to infect 1% of people or 99% of people?
Yeah.
Obviously, you're gonna go with the other choice.
It's a Silver Sparrow malware is what it's called, and it hit the Apple M1 computers recently.
Nice.
So I think it was the first malware for that hardware.
Well, at least they're not like
system.
Microsoft and they make their own in-house update that trashes their operating system.
Yeah.
And then undoes it.
That
Like,
is
the
true.
fuck, dude? Like, come on. You made this. You said it was okay.
That's just been normal. That's like,
yeah, we're used to it. We're just used to getting beat in the ass by the stupid updates. It's ridiculous.
And the updates are like, when you look at the list of features, you're like, don't want it, don't care.
Yeah, it's like,
like,
security
great.
update 5 billion, and it's like, oh, never mind, there's another security problem. We had to roll it back. It's like, dude, what the
Yeah.
Makes no sense. It's so frustrating.
It is frustrating. But I just think that they're doing a lot better. I don't know. I think that the future is gamers. I think that a lot of these companies that are going forward, and trying to take market share for different applications like, VR, AR, all this stuff where people are predicting these large consumer bases, they're gamers. So like you don't want to piss off the gamers, because I honestly believe they're going to, like, if Apple does release AR glasses, the first adopters are probably going to be people that are interested in gaming or VR stuff or whatever they end up doing. Of course, there's more enterprise interest in AR, but still, I think it's a stupid move what they're doing, because it's not like they're just doing this on one front. It's like they're shitting all over everybody that's trying to do cool things in the gaming world.
Yeah, because it's just not part of the. I mean, yeah, like their AR glasses could be used for gaming, but that's probably not what they're going to be selling them as, and they don't really care if they're not meant for gaming, and if people who just want to play games with them don't want it. Because
Yeah,
like
but
when they come out with the new Mac, it's not like gamers are sitting there going like, "Fuck them, dude! It doesn't work it doesn't play any game that I really want." They're like, "I don't really care," because everyone else is going to buy it.
But games are the software that introduce hardware, right? I mean, like,
Yeah,
if you try the HoloLens, the first thing that you're going to try, they have, like, I remember, I went to this buddy's house who works for the HoloLens team, and like he showed us, and like, what did he show me? He showed me all the games.
Yeah,
that are
it's
on
always
it. Like,
games always prove out hardware, but most of the time, a lot, especially with that type of hardware, it runs short very quickly. like with the
Oh, of
Kinect.
course.
Like it's,
Yeah.
and I'm sure Apple will have games because they have a lot of games on their iOS infrastructure or on their mobile platforms. And now with Macs becoming ARM chips, that means you can run iOS apps on a Mac natively. So then technically you could just play your games with PC and keyboard support, which is also in iOS, on a Mac. So like they're just not going to the hardcore gaming audience; they're going towards the casual.
I suppose, but they don't need to piss off the hardcore gaming audience.
Yeah, but it's really easy to do that.
Is it? Well,
Yes.
yeah. We are a sensitive group.
Yeah, volatile, sensitive, opinionated, all those
Yeah.
words.
That's very
So,
true. Yeah, well, I don't know. I mean, it's I hope to see more things included in the app world because I think that a lot of people choose that, and it's like crossplay is another thing, and like just I don't know. I just want them to kind of be moving in the same direction that everybody else is. More inclusion, more so that it doesn't matter what OS you have, and you can just enjoy whatever you want to enjoy.
yeah, and I mean, in their defense, if they just make a web app, then everything's okay.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I don't.
it like I get like it would be nice if we could just have this app that does it, but at the same time, it effectively an app that does all of these things is the same thing as a web page doing all these things, and you can make like with Amazon, you can just make an app that's effectively just the web page and get around. Like there's
I don't.
loopholes, so you just have to put more work in.
I'm sure and I'm not to the point where I really understand the difference between a web app and like what benefits you get from one and what disadvantages you get from another.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I mean, obviously, there's a reason people choose to make apps that. I mean, obviously, you store stuff on the device itself, so that's going to be more efficient, I would imagine, because it'll probably run faster than a web app,
Yeah.
and also it can do things without needing internet connection, which is a good thing, I guess. I don't know. So I actually have. I'm going to skip all the way. This is one of the last things because I thought it was. Oh well, there are two things. One is holy crap. Call of Duty Black Ops is Cold War is having an update that's 500 gigabytes.
Oh no, you're shitting me.
I just
No.
read that.
No, this has got to be a joke.
I read it. I was
bullshit.
running. I mean, it was right at the end when we were about to start the show, so I didn't get to read it, but I can definitely go back. But that's
no way. Like I've seen lots of people joking about them getting that big, but like, no.
Let's see. I'll find the story here.
Is the
But
game in total 500 gigs?
it says update. It said update. Let's see. Bungie. No, sorry. That's Final Fantasy. Oh, here it is. Game updates have been getting bigger and bigger in recent years. Blah blah blah. Yeah. So it looks like the size is going to be much bigger problem for PS4 users, at least those that have 500 gigabytes storage.
Oh, okay, yeah. I think I'm
Oh,
reading the
okay,
same
okay.
thing. Well, so
It's coming in at 10.5 gigabytes. So yeah, that's still really big. That
well, if
was
you
a very
want to keep
misleading
Call
title.
of Duty Warzone and everything that requires and the campaign, just everything Call of Duty, whatever, it's 300 gig game.
Yeah, it's 300.
Like fuck off.
Game.
Like
Yeah,
I just don't understand why they're not doing things to make the goddamn game smaller. Like I don't, is the Warzone engine that bad at compression, or like there are other games that look they
don't
obviously
compress
can't be
assets. No, they don't do that anymore. That's why these are getting huge. I don't think they compress assets anymore.
but some do. Like Doom is under 50 fucking gigs. Doom
Yeah.
Eternal, and it looks absolutely fantastic. Granted, id Tech, solid ass engine, like good for them. But yeah, I don't get it. And is it audio file? Like I know those can get big if you don't compress those.
Is not necessarily the size. It's just whenever you want to play, you can't play, and that's the most annoying thing. And if it happens more than once, if there's more than one time where you and your buddies get online, and you have to download a 10.5 gigabyte update. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, which for some people is a day of downloading, maybe
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, that's just. I mean, I don't even know how. Maybe they need to do more, smaller, more often. But again, that's not good.
And I'm
Um,
wondering, like, are these compounding updates? Because, like, I know Halo had some updates and it got, or the Master Chief Collection, it got to like 100 gigs. And then when they, like, decided to relaunch the game and fix everything, there was a 100 gigabyte update, but effectively was uninstalling and reinstalling the whole game. So, like, are they just, like, uninstalling and reinstalling parts of the game, or is this just every time? Because I feel like every
it
update's
sounds
10
like
gigs.
yeah, it sounds like that. Yeah, this is 10 gigs, 10.5, which they said is one of the smaller ones. But it sounds like
Oh, so
they're
God.
just stating that they're gonna get bigger. It's hard. So I think this is just a fluff piece that had a title that I grabbed
Oh,
onto.
okay, yeah, because season 2 began today. So it literally
Yeah,
is just more shit.
more shit.
Which, like, yeah, 4 new multiplayer maps and all this stuff. Somebody's got to be figuring out how to compress these files. Do something.
Well, yeah, I really don't understand. I mean, is there loss? I mean, because if you just do lossless compression, then it should be fine, right? I mean, it's the same effing thing. It's just for the transfer rate, and then you just decompress it on the other side. Or maybe that's the point. You just, I don't know. Maybe that takes a long time, or
Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just don't know enough. It just seems ridiculous because other games are not this big.
but they've been traditionally doing this, and it's always the Call of Duty series. Is they just are huge, and it's
Yeah, that's
from
what
what
makes me
I.
feel like something's wrong and they're not doing things over at Call of Duty. Because
It
now
might
that
not
and
be
they've
impressive.
gotten really big ever since they've started using the Warzone engine exclusively. Like every game uses it now.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just seems like they're not compressing it, but I don't know that for sure, and that's hearsay. But yeah, I don't like updates.
No, it's really frustrating. And every fucking console has like a background update function that doesn't work.
I mean, the thing is it's almost a mentality, right? It's a mentality of how we're creating games, and this all rubs off to the, releasing games that aren't finished, and it's just this idea that we can just fix it later, or we can just start these huge updates. And I think that the season pass thing definitely makes for a lot of updates because each season
Mm-hmm.
pass, there's new stuff that
Yeah.
they add to the universe in a lot of these games. But I don't know. So the other one, which is what I did want to talk about, which I'm really excited about, is PUBG New State is a
There's
thing.
PUBG's alive.
PUBG is alive.
Bullshit.
They're alive, and they're apparently. I didn't watch the trailer, and I can't watch it right now. But yeah, it's the New State is their next entry into the PUBG universe, and from what it sounds like
New
is
entry.
yeah, new entry is they're going to be um, iterating on the battle royale uh, idea. So whatever they do, whatever actually ends up coming out, I hope they do something new. I hope they redefine the genre because they're the ones that made it popular, and it would make me so happy
Oh,
if
hold
they.
on, hold on, hold on. PUBG New State is a mobile only game.
Oh, is it? There you go.
So when you look up that the
Oh, you're
top
right. You're right.
two,
You're right.
the
Experience it for
top
mobile players later
articles
this year.
were PUBG 2 is not New State.
It's not new state.
But apparently someone is leaking that PUBG 2 is going to come out next year and it's going to be I don't know what you were describing a moment ago.
Well, that's what I read at the beginning of this article. But I should. If we
Mobile
had more
only
time.
battle royale. Yeah.
Well, I mean, people are playing battle royales on mobile anyways.
Don't understand.
But you're right. You're right. You're right. So it says, man, I'm like 0 for 0. I got to start reading these stupid articles.
Dude, the article titles, man, they mean nothing now.
I know that's it's very misleading.
Yeah.
I was really excited about that. And I've said this before is I really want PUBG to come out on top sometime. I really want them to take some of the market back because they deserve it more than anybody.
I don't think it'll ever happen. And it's
I mean,
purely the art style. Just realistic is not as approachable as cartoony.
well, I think it's also that it was so buggy when it came to
Yeah.
consoles I think that really pissed users off because a lot of people had never played PUBG, and then they played it for the first time on their Xbox or PlayStation, and it was just horrid, and it just
Yeah.
didn't work. And then right after Epic, put their entry in.
Yeah. Did
So
you speaking of games that kind of look like shit, did you see the Pokemon open world game that got announced?
I did not. No.
It looks like like it on paper. This was like everybody's dream. I'm not even a Pokemon fan, but I was like, yeah, this seems like the game y'all want, which is just like Breath of the Wild but Pokemon. Big open world, and you just roam around. I don't know, collect Pokemon or some shit. But man, the game looks rough. Like then there's people like articles talking like, is the Switch holding games back? Which yeah, it is. But it looks. I don't even know why they announced it. Like it's coming out in early 2022, so maybe they're just panicking and
Oh
they need
yeah.
something to show off. Because yeah, we've been talking past weeks of like Nintendo, what's going on over there. But wow, it looks like pre-alpha. Like
Yeah, those
it's
trees are really
bad.
bad.
All the trees are so bad.
You know what it looks like? It looks like a kid like had one of those sponges that you put in the paint and you like dab the screen.
It's really bad looking, and like I think that there's certain things that just aren't translating well. Something a friend of mine pointed out was he wasn't aware much of the Pokemon franchise, so he's like, the grass looked like shit. It was all patchy and stuff, and I was like, well, in Pokemon, grass is an important thing. Like, tall grass, there's Pokemon in there and you have to walk into it or avoid it. And I think they're trying to translate that into an open world. And it just comes down to this weird patches of grass. And it just looks odd. And then throwing a Pokeball looks like the most unfun thing I've ever seen. It's literally like you just kind of toss it. It gets really tiny, goes over there, and makes a puff smoke. There's no like cool sound effects or it. I don't know what they're doing. They have a year, so maybe there's stuff to do, but it looks pretty rough.
Yeah, but I'm sure that, it. What are they building it in? What do they build Pokemon games in? Proprietary?
I don't know. Yeah, proprietary
engine. Okay.
I mean,
well then that
Pokemon
makes
has
sense.
never like. Pokemon games have never been phenomenal looking because they've been on handhelds. Like the first one that was not on a handheld in such a long time was Pokemon Sword and Shield, and it looked like a 3DS game that was higher res. So it seems like they're taking a really big leap on a console that was not ready for that leap. I don't know. It's odd. I don't know if it's gonna go well.
I'm sure
people are excited about it, but then they look at it.
Yeah, but a year is a year, man. That's a long time.
That's true.
And just to see what happened with those 4K pictures from Halo.
That's true.
And I mean, again, that's if it's a proprietary engine, then I totally give them the benefit of the doubt. If they were using Unity or Unreal, I'd be like, you guys need to make better assets.
Like, yeah, have you been working on it for a week or?
Yeah. So it's and I don't know, that's what I propose. Yeah, because they probably have to do a lot of work to rework it for the new hardware that they're going to be using for proprietary. But if you use Unreal or Unity, that all gets taken care of for you. You don't have to worry about the hardware that you're deploying to, which is, I think, the hardest part. Especially if you're going to consoles and you really want to optimize. So you probably just build it unoptimized as much as possible until later on, until you really figure out what you're doing.
Yeah, and speaking of those Halo screenshots, I mean, they looked fantastic. They were on PC, so like I'm still really, really interested to see what this game looks like on PC versus new console versus old console, and how much the game is going to be held back because it's running on an Xbox One.
So stupid. They should just drop it.
No, it's ridiculous.
Well,
like, I know there's a lot of people with those Xbox Ones, and there's not a lot of people with Series X's, but like, man, the potential.
The only thing that came out of the Cyberpunk debacle is people should have noticed that they shouldn't release for the older. They should just dedicate themselves to the newer console and not try to,
Yeah, like I think that was a great example, not only for developers but for the community of like, guys, this console that came out 8 years ago was not even that powerful 8 years ago. Let it die. Just let it fucking die, please.
I mean, I'll give it to Cyberpunk or CD Projekt Red, because when they launched the game, there weren't that many consoles out, so they would have lost on a lot of sales, and I get that, but for Halo Infinite, it just like, especially with the delay, and it's probably because they thought they were going to launch at the same time, so they had the same idea. Is there's just not enough consoles in the
Yeah. It
wild
made
yet.
sense this year. It's just not making any more sense. And it's like, it's tough for them because they're in the situation of, if we do rip that platform, people will get pissed because we said it was going to be there. But
Yeah,
I'm just wondering if there's going to be more people who are like, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
Sony's not releasing Forbidden
Well,
West on the PS4, or God of War 2 on PS4, or God of War Ragnarok on PS4. We get it. It's okay. The fat
yeah,
chunk one can die.
yeah. I don't know. I think that this going on, I think a lot of people will choose just to dedicate to the newer consoles.
Yeah,
And
and I mean, even internally, some developers are like, Hellblade is only going to be on the new ones, and this Perfect Dark is only on the new ones. So it's Halo seems like it's going to be, if might be the last one, and I'm wondering if it might just be worth it to ditch it.
yeah. I mean, it's gonna be, and this actually gets into another story. But with all the chip shortages that are happening, that's the other thing I want.
Yeah.
So I mean, so it doesn't seem like we're gonna get out of this anytime soon. Like, I don't think that a lot of these consoles are gonna be able to saturate the market
Mm-hmm.
anytime soon. I mean, obviously, if there's not enough chips to build the console, it's like, what, where are we?
Yep.
And I don't know. And the big thing is, I guess, what is it? TSMC. There was a drought in Taiwan,
Mm,
and so they use a lot of water, I guess, in the development process of their processors.
yeah.
So
Sure.
I didn't know that. I mean, I wouldn't even have thought that was a thing. But yeah, I guess that's also gonna make it harder for chip manufacturers, or they're the main chip manufacturer for Nvidia, right? Or no. I know Samsung. I
Probably.
think Samsung came in. I know that they were either, was it Nvidia or was it AMD? I think it might have been AMD. Was Yes, it was AMD, was TSMC, and I know Samsung came in and started making chips.
Hmm.
Uh, but that's all. I mean, for the new consoles, we only care about AMD processors,
Yeah.
um, and also other hardware. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. We'll
And I
see.
think my main question is like, sure, put it on the old ones, but what's the bar of quality that they're setting? Because Cyberpunk's bar was on the floor, and they removed it because of how bad it was. And I'm wondering, is Halo Infinite on Xbox One gonna just be like potato graphics, like ass, and people are gonna be like, it's not even like, it's barely playable? Or is the bar gonna actually be kind of high, and you're just like, dang, they put a lot of effort that they could have into making the game like next gen?
Well, I think it's probably, you mean on the older consoles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're definitely going to split it pretty heavily, and I don't know. I don't. It's hard to tell because, like, what are the capabilities of the older console that you can still utilize that will make? I mean, it's, yeah, because
Because
obviously,
it's starting to feel like Halo Infinite is going to be a current gen game that's like, for like, really pretty. That's about it
well, I
on the
think they're
new
going to make.
consoles.
Yeah, I think they're going to put, and especially for the outcry that happened when they showed their gameplay trailer. I mean, it's blatantly obvious. It's on the wall that the consumer wants a really good looking game.
Yeah.
So I think that the fact, and that's a lot of the reason why they delayed. And so I can't imagine it not looking insane on the Series X and computer variant, but on the Xbox One, I don't know. I mean, to be honest, yes, I think it's great that the game is beautiful, but what makes Halo is the gameplay. I
Yeah.
mean, as long as the gameplay is good, I don't care what it looks like. I mean, it's
Yeah.
nice to make it look good, but the reverse would be worse if it looked good and the gameplay
Yeah.
elements
Like,
were terrible.
if Halo Infinite, if we could say right now, like, oh, the gameplay is fantastic, like, I would have fucking bought it at that
Yeah,
E3 presentation, hands
yeah,
down. I mean, argue I would have played that demo like a shitload. That demo looked fun to play. But these, graphics are always pretty, and they do look very pretty. And
and
the
you know what?
day night cycle is looking, oh my god, fantastic.
I think it, and also the fact that it's continually going to be updated. I think we're going to get a lot of. It might not look great on Xbox One, but I think by the end of the Xbox One's life cycle, which we're
Yeah,
almost
hopefully
there.
Halo Infinite's not going to be a 500 fucking gig game because Halo 5 it's getting up there. It's like 140.
Yeah, it took a while.
Yeah.
It's nowhere as big as Master Chief Collection, but that's understandable since
Yeah,
it's a
like
bunch of
that's allowed to be big,
yeah.
but like fuck.
Yeah. No, I know. I had to get an extra. The first hard drive is just Call of Duty and Halo games. That's it. It takes almost the entire hard drive of my Xbox Series X. I had to get an external for everything else.
Jeez.
Yeah, it's just that's what 3 games. So you can play 3 games. Um, but yeah, it's I don't know. I don't know why games are so large. It's
4K, dude. 4K
yeah. I
assets
think
aren't just
it's
like
4K
that's a
assets.
big thing. Like 1080p, 4K is 4 times the size of 1080p.
Well, oh, that's another thing.
Is it four?
I know that XCloud is promising 1080p.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, which is really cool. I mean, that's going to look really good. I think it's because they're replacing the server side
Yeah.
units with Xbox Series X's, or at least the hardware that represents an Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
That's fast. I especially and consider that. I mean, that's with the hardware shortages that are going on, or the chip shortages. They're still able to update the servers, to reflect what they want Game Pass to be, which is, I mean, they only launched Game Pass like a couple months ago, and they're already
Yeah.
talking about upgrades. That's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're gonna really dive into that. Like, that is their future of gaming.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think it's great. I really want that because I really want to be liberated from the console, and I really want like Game Pass to just be on my TV app. That would be
I
nice.
haven't booted my Xbox up in like a month and a half.
It's good, man. There's some
Not for
even
any particular reason. I just am sitting here like I literally have not booted it up in like a month and
is,
a half. Holy shit.
is it because of Bug Snacks, or you can't get
I
enough of
haven't
Bug
even
Snacks?
booted up my PS5 in the same amount of time.
Yeah, no, it happens. It definitely sometimes you don't play as many games.
Yeah.
Games take effort, and when you're tired, it's like sometimes you're like, yeah,
Yeah, and
it's
I've
easier to
like
it's easier to watch TV or
I
something.
haven't like been excited to play a game in a while too, like a new release. Like Cyberpunk I want it to be so bad, but like I just couldn't get excited. And then, shit happened and I was like, wow, at least I wasn't excited for it.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
can't think of a game since probably well, I was excited to get Last of Us 2. Like I played that really quickly once it came out, but I don't think I've played a game at launch since. I played Doom Eternal's DLC. There was that. But that's a
Well,
DLC.
RBI Baseball 21 is coming out.
I don't like the RBI baseball franchise. If we're gonna be honest, like I've
I
tried
didn't
it.
even know. I thought RBI Baseball was just on Nintendo. So when I
No,
saw that, I was like, what?
no. Although speaking of, I am very excited because the reason I tried RBI baseball is because there hasn't been a baseball game that's not MLB The Show, which is Sony exclusive, since I think 2009 or 10 or maybe 12. So it's been a long time since there's been a baseball game, and I was like, well, I like cartoon baseball games, and I tried playing it. It just doesn't hit the same as a lot of the other ones. But this year, the Major League Baseball decided that it's not okay that Sony is the only platform with a baseball game. So now MLB The Show is cross-platform.
Oh,
So
so it's not that
Sony
they're
is
giving
publishing
out
a game on Xbox.
Oh, okay, sure.
It's interesting, and I might
That
get
is
it.
weird. Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny
So there,
because like they finally did it, and I've been waiting years to play it on Xbox, and now I'm like, if I'm honest, kind of wanted the PS5.
that doesn't really solve it's like why. That's not the argument I would like. I would think you would want to expand not have exclusive rights to the player names and the player data. Why don't you just allow 2 franchises to have rights to the player names?
Because you don't. It goes back to when Madden did that, and it's the competing argument of they don't want their brand. They want as much control over their brand as possible because at the end of the day, the players are part of the brand of the Major League Baseball or the NFL. So like having only one developer that they have to talk to make sure that their brand is being represented is easy. And then the second thing is, back when it was EA and 2K, there was a point where they were fighting with each other to see who could sell the game more, and one decided I'm going to sell the game at a $40 price point rather than a 60, and then to undersell the other one. And then the other
Yeah.
one was like, well, shit, I'm going to sell at 40. And then the NFL's sitting there like, why the fuck are my games not full price?
Yeah.
And ever since that day, they're like, no, there's one person making our games.
Well, it just, what it happens is it's just becomes stilted, because you're just, it's only one franchise that can exist, and it's just not fair competition. Therefore,
There's
you don't
no,
breed great ideas.
There are zero innovation.
Yeah. Is the show the same as it's been for the last, like, however?
From my knowledge, it's probably, yeah.
Exactly the same.
Too many of them, but like, why would they need to change it?
And that's the problem with all sports games that have exclusive rights is, they basically are, it's like a stimulus package, or, and then you sit at home and do nothing. It doesn't, well, that's all. We'll leave that out.
Yeah.
It's just politics all over.
It's rough times to be an American.
Yeah.
As usual.
You get a free check from the government to buy your potato chips. And,
yes. And meanwhile, you look away while they go bomb some shit.
Yeah, of course.
Look at your potato chips. It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay. You're good.
World conflict doesn't exist.
Yeah, I guess we could talk about Deathloop. They had a gameplay trailer. What I said was I was a little confused because isn't the game? I thought the game was like you reset time. It's kind of playing with time, right?
Yeah.
Which they didn't show that at all in the trailer, or not very much. And then in this one, it just seemed like it's more about warping and I don't know. None of the what
trailer did you watch? Because I watched one that was titled Deathloop Explained.
Oh, no. I watched the official trailer.
Oh, shit. We saw two different trailers then.
Well, you probably saw a better one.
I was going to say, there was a lot of time looping in mine. They were, like, talking about it and...
Yeah, I guess they did an official gameplay trailer. I didn't know maybe there's people that analyzed it.
Well, no, this was from them. Like, directly from them.
Oh, okay.
Like, it was like a 3-minute video of this dude at a whiteboard explaining the game. And I was still lost at some points, but I think it made more sense than the other one, probably. Because...
Yeah, wasn't that. This was just, like, gameplay and, like, story.
Okay, so what I kind of got from it was you keep going through it's kind of like, what's that game? Outer Wilds, where you have to, like, you play and then you die. And you have to, every time you play, the goal is to gain more knowledge so you can go farther. And the way they were describing it was you keep restarting your loop, and the goal is you learn more and more about the people you're trying to assassinate so that way you can kill them in a single loop.
But it's not, is it single player or is it multiplayer?
I think it's single player. They talked about this
assassin.
They talked about this assassin that was also in the game that's trying to kill you. Like, she's trying to do your job, which means she's going to try to kill you and your opponents or your assassin targets. But it could be multiplayer. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I felt like. I felt like I know less about the game after watching. I mean, it's probably what you saw was more informative, but
yeah.
I'm definitely excited about the studios behind it, but I have no idea what this is going to be like.
Yeah, I mean, did they say when it's coming out?
Soon. That's what I read.
Because that's a game I'm excited about because I like Arcane a lot, and it's a PS5 exclusive, so more reason to play my PS5, which I always want more reasons. May 21st. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
it says it has multiplayer in it, so.
Okay. So it's not particularly a multiplayer game. So that makes a little bit more sense.
Well, hold on. Deathloop is Arcane's take on an assassination multiplayer experience, seemingly blending single player with multiplayer drama. Who knows what that means?
Okay.
Yep. I don't know. I should probably rewatch the explained video. Maybe it'll help again.
Yeah, we didn't have a lot of time before. As you guys notice, we gain the news as we read it 5 minutes before the show. um, okay, so this is another thing. I keep hearing Valheim come up in people talking about it, and
Valheim, yeah.
Valheim, whatever. Heim.
Yeah, the Viking game that looks like shit.
Yeah, so I don't know. You actually said something about this recently, and what makes this good?
I have no idea. I honest to God have no idea. I have some, like there's elements I guess of the game. It's got a great sense of progression, and it's a survival game.
Ooh, breaking up.
I'm breaking
Say
up.
that again.
It's a survival game. Am I breaking
Okay.
up still?
Okay. A little bit, but it's better. I can hear you.
But
Yeah, you're good.
it I don't know, it's very odd. I mean, they had a lot of hype going into it. If you watch the trailers, it's significantly better looking in the trailers. Um, but it does raise a question. I do not know why it is selling so well and so many people are crazy about it.
Well, I think is it the Minecraft crowd because it's kind of like Minecrafty,
I don't know. I mean, yeah,
and
it's got
then
a lot. It's got building and elements, but it's like there's a lot of fundamental things about the game that's just infuriating when I'm playing. Mainly things about like the
so
UI doesn't make a
you
lot of
have played
sense.
it.
I have, yeah.
So okay,
More of an investigative play, but not because I wanted to necessarily, but
is it using the Unreal
it's Unity.
Engine? It's Unity. Okay.
Yeah, and the art style is odd because they it at a quick glance it looks like a Viking realistic game, but when you look at it, they went with this odd approach where the game is polygonal and 3D and all that stuff, but the textures are pixelated, but not like pixelated like an art style would be. Like, oh, this is a pixel art game. It's like you took a texture and told it to be like super low res and then said that
Yeah.
is our art style.
Well, it probably makes it faster. I mean, I would imagine that it's more.
Maybe it looks like it looks worse than certain PS2 games.
Yeah, but the thing is Minecraft itself. I mean, if this is kind of aimed towards that crowd, its inception, it looked like shit. The original
Yeah.
Minecraft that dropped, but it was just about the creative games mechanics that people fell in love with, and then obviously, Microsoft took it over, and bam,
Yeah, but
now we
like with
have what we
Minecraft,
have.
like they were like, this is a pixel art game. So like they followed pixel art things and like, a pixel artist can appreciate certain things that they would have done in the game and it was a cohesive look. This game is not a cohesive look and it literally just looks like you put a game and then told it to go to potato graphics or like you set the texture bar to low, but it's there all the time.
But what do you like about the game?
Me personally, not
You
much.
personally?
Nothing. I don't
Nothing.
enjoy that type of it's not my type of game, and like
Yeah.
I said, it's very frustrating, a lot of the UI and controls. So much so you see articles that are like Valheim fix its UI with this mod like already,
Yeah.
and certain things, and you're like, why is it getting the okay? Like, oh, the game is okay, but the UI is absolutely awful. And there's just a lot of things that don't make sense, and it's very cryptic on what to do. There's this stupid bird that follows you around as its tutorial, which is like Navi from Legend of Zelda, but like it's less loud annoying and more just always in your face annoying. But it's like you can't see what you. The big thing that's frustrating is you can't see what you can build because the game is about building. You
Yeah.
can't see what you can build, but you can unlock recipes, but to unlock a recipe, you have to find materials that it builds. So like if I find flint, it'll be like, you know how to build a bow now. But it's only it only shows you that very like frequent or very quickly, and then if you miss that dialogue, you have no idea why you can build a bow all of a sudden.
So it's not like you don't get the recipes and then look for the items in the recipes.
I mean, once you unlock the
look
recipe,
for,
you can do that.
okay, but you can effectively make it just by getting the items.
Yeah, like you will never know how to make. You cannot make a bow in that game until you find one of the things that the bow requires, and then it'll tell you you can make a bow. But it will not tell you how to get those things. It won't tell you what to get at all. It's just kind of like you happen to find leather straps. Congratulations, you can make a bow now.
Yeah, so it's a little confusing.
Very, yeah.
I think it's I think that these games provide people with it's almost it is very much when I'm now reading about it and looking at it while we're talking, but it seems like it is very much the Minecraft mindset, where it is building, the I guess this says that somebody built Whiterun from Skyrim. So
Yeah,
just
like it does build this narrative of like go build your Viking village, and that's why I'm just not a fan of it. But and yeah, that's kind of the game, the whole
and I
game.
think just, I think people like that. I think people like to construct their own worlds, and so this scratches that itch for them. Whether it's good or not, nobody else is really, because Minecraft really is the only one that allows you to build your own world with that much freedom. So
Well,
to
I mean,
have
there's like
this is like a
Ark and
yeah, I wouldn't say Ark.
Atlas.
Ark doesn't allow you to build your own world, though. Okay, you can. You build your own fortress to
Yeah,
survive. I don't know if you build your own world. Like you're not going to create another game inside of Ark or the look of another game inside of Ark.
I don't think you can do that in Valheim. Like, I
Oh,
mean,
okay, well that's why I was
it's a
getting
very
from here.
social game. Like, yeah, I could build a Whiterun, and then I can like tell my friends to pretend like we're in Whiterun, but yeah, it's not that deep.
Oh, it's not that deep.
No.
Okay, yeah. Well, I was thinking it was that deep once someone was saying you can build another game's town in this game. Then it just seems a lot like Minecraft, where you can make it look whatever you want.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you can build houses and stuff and do some light terraforming. Not completely like Minecraft's. Like you could level the whole world if you wanted. In this one, because tech limitations, of course, you can only terraform so much. But I haven't played
Yeah,
a ton of it. It's just not my type of game. But there's a lot
yeah.
wrong with it I don't understand.
Well, at least they're doing good, and it's nice to see small developers be able to
Yeah, they've
get.
sold. They might be at 5 million now. I don't know.
Yeah, it's good. That is a good thing in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Um, okay, so there is since you love your PS5,
I do.
there is so people were complaining about the games with gold for Xbox being trash,
They
and
looks
that
pretty lame this month.
that PS Now has really good games. And I'm just curious what you think. Why do you think that the games with gold is it because they're like, well, we're giving you Game Pass with Game Cloud, and so you shut the fuck up?
Nah, nah. Those are tough. I mean, I I haven't really cared about games with gold in a very long time, so I haven't really been keeping up to date. So I'd like to see like a calendar of them, but it's always been hit or miss. Like some months they're
Yeah,
like,
but
"Holy shit, I have this game. That's crazy." And then other games you're like, "I've never heard of these." And it's always going up and down and people complain about it every time it's a bad thing. And PlayStation's the same way. It just goes
yeah,
up
but
and down.
you think with Ultimate out there that providing you good games with gold kind of disincentivizes you getting the Ultimate Pass?
Uh yeah, I've wondered what their plan with that is. Of giving away free games with gold, which technically it's not giving them away. Like you have to have gold to play them. If you stop paying for gold, you lose those games. Which is the same with PlayStation. But
Yeah.
I don't know if it really. I could see a world where they stop giving games with gold, and I feel like it's
Just to push everyone into the
surprised.
Ultimate.
Yeah, it's surprising how long it's lasted. Like there are a lot of games in this world, but there's only so many who will go on that list, and after a while, you're like starting to run out of games. Like we've gone what 7? That's been around for at least 6 years, maybe 7. So 7 years times 12, and that's
Yeah.
like 4 games. Like they've given away,
But
300
why
games
can't
on that
so you're
platform.
saying there's no way to reissue a game on giveaway. So like if
They
you
they
can't
could. People would complain about it.
Yeah, they would complain about it.
Like they'd hate it. They'd be like, "This is bullshit. You've already given this one away." So I don't know. I think yeah, Game Pass is a way better value. I'm just wondering why I have to still pay for gold. Like, why are we not just putting everybody on Game Pass?
Yeah, yeah.
Push
I
them
mean, I
in
think
there,
that
man.
it's just the pricing, the pricing tier thing that everybody
Yeah.
loves so much. Why are there three gasolines at the gasoline pump? Who the hell knows?
Damn. Yeah, you're right. You're
I
right.
was just I was just choose the middle one. I don't know.
Oh, dude,
I don't.
I'm a cheap ass, dude. I go fucking the cheapest one.
Yeah, I used to, but then I was like, yeah, you know what? I'll just, in case it matters, I'll just choose the middle. You can't go
Yeah, I
wrong
mean,
with
I'm
the
sure
middle.
it does. I mean, it's apparently higher quality for your engine or whatever, but
Yeah,
high
I went.
hour. The other thing is also like what gas station you're going to, because people will tell you Arco's shitty gas, which is why it's always so cheap. So it's like, is high quality Arco as good as like shit ass Chevron with Techron, or
Yeah,
like
you got the
where does it?
Techron,
Yeah.
whatever
Oh,
that
Tech.
is.
I don't know.
There's technology in that run. Yeah, it's terrible, man. I don't know. I wish I could see
Fuck gas, man.
demographics. Like, I wish I could see their data to see how many people buy just the cheapest gas. And
It's gotta be the most people buy the cheapest gas. Like
I would
no
think
one
so.
likes gas prices at all. The more
I
expensive they are, the worse. Like everyone's got to cheap out.
Does it really make a difference in the longevity of your engine? I mean, that's the other thing. Like, who the hell knows, right? That yeah, they're telling us that, but that definitely can be in. They could be indoctrinating us into believing this
Yeah,
bull
and I
crap.
also feel it's like, yeah, the longevity of my engine. It's like, well, yeah, now if you buy the premium, your engine will last you 15 or like 20 years rather than 15. And I'm like, who the fuck has a car for 15 years?
Yeah, that's the same argument smokers have. I don't need those years anyways. Who wants the years at the end of your life?
Yeah, and it's like, and phones the same way. People are like, complain that their 5-year-old phone is running like ass and has no battery. It's like, yeah, because it's fucking 5 years old, dude.
Well, there's also bloatware and stuff
Yeah.
that happens. I believe there was Apple got in trouble uh, for bloating their phones for old phones with updates.
Yeah, what they did was, and I mean, they still do it, but they just tell the user that they're doing it, which instantly people were like, oh, okay. Which was they would, when iOS would update and a phone would get older. Oh, no, it was as a phone got older, they would downclock the CPU to try to save you battery because the battery would eventually, over time, lose its like full charge.
Uh,
And then they're like, well, if we want to keep your battery life so your phone stays alive longer, we're going to downclock your CPU. Then you use less energy. And then people were like, what the fuck? And now it's literally a setting in your iPhone that's like, would you like to optimize your phone for battery? And people are like, oh, okay.
yeah.
It's it's the same thing that World of Warcraft did when they were like, okay, you're gonna get, or if you like you only, or it was like if you played a certain amount of time, you would start gaining half XP, and it was a way for them to like tell you to take a fucking break. And it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you've been playing so long, and people were like, fuck you, you piece of shit. So they just were like, okay, same thing but different. So now when you don't play for a while, you get the well rested perk, and then you gain double XP. And when that runs out, you gain normal XP. And people are like, oh, okay, this is cool.
Yeah.
Same shit.
Well, the thing with the phones that's kind of annoying is there already is technology to preserve your battery, which is slow charging at the end, so that
Yeah.
when it gets to the like 95% or whatever, your battery doesn't do fast charge anymore. It slow charges,
Yeah.
so
And I
that
mean,
you don't damage. Yeah,
even Apple, yeah, that's another thing that they added after this whole debacle was when your phone hits like I think about a year after, it'll tell you like, hey, if you don't need that last 20%, we're not going to give it to you. So it just looks at how you use your phone and it's like, hey, you never really use all 100%. So like when I charge my phone, it won't go to 100% unless I think it only does it if I leave it on the charge all night long. But like if I'm just charging it at my desk just for a quick minute, it'll only go up to like 80.
yeah.
And the
Well,
Teslas do that as well.
what I understood is it goes to 80 and then it just really slowly
Yeah.
charges. Yeah,
Yeah,
and so it's
Tesla's. I
like,
mean, I think Tesla even recommends if you don't need it, don't charge it to
well,
100. Just leave it at
doesn't
80.
Tesla? I think Tesla doesn't even like their 100 is not the full 100.
Yeah, probably.
So I don't know. I might be wrong on that. I would definitely need to look it up. But I remember reading something where it just automatically secures you in that 80%.
Yeah,
But maybe
like
not.
I
I mean,
think
I
you
don't
have to
know.
explicitly tell the car like I need you to go to 100% right now.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and then it'll be like, okay, I'll do it.
yeah.
Which good on them, smart. But yeah, it's funny how if you just rephrase a sentence, people take it a completely different way.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, sure, no problem.
Yeah.
Efficiency. We like efficiency.
Uh huh.
All right. Well, that's 9 o'clock.
Yep.
Thank you everybody for listening, and yeah, we'll come back to you next week on Monday.